Good afternoon, I'm Malcolm Jordan and this is your Midday News Fix for Tuesday, the 3rd of June. Defence Minister Judith Collins says Donald Trump's proposed Golden Dome is about defence, not attack. Collins is endorsing the project, which seeks to create a network of satellites spanning the whole country to detect and intercept incoming missiles. She told Herald Now the US is simply responding to militaries around the world increasing their capabilities.
We've got all sorts of things happening at the moment. They don't have to wait around for someone to give them permission to keep building up their militaries. They're doing it anyway.
And defence spending is a top talking point for our other Five Eyes partners as well. The UK's unveiled an overhaul of its defence programme overnight that will see spending lift to 3% of GDP. Australia's gradually increasing its spending to 2.33%, but Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is rejecting a new US demand to increase spending to 3.5%.
What you should do in defence is decide what you need, your capability, and then provide for it. That's what my government's doing.
Our government says the US is comfortable with New Zealand's defence spending target of 2% of GDP. A body has been found next to a car that caught fire in Auckland's Muriwai this morning. Fire crews extinguished the fire on Jack Butt Lane and the scene's being examined. The government's ordered WorkSafe to shift its focus from enforcement to reducing major risks. Workplace Relations Minister Brooke Van Velden told Mike Hosking businesses shouldn't have to sweat the small stuff.
We've had a culture of over-compliance, trying to get all of the paperwork done rather than focusing on, do I actually do anything that could cause death or serious injury?
Research shows adults ever diagnosed with a mental health disorder are significantly more likely to develop dementia. The study, using New Zealand Health Survey data, finds having had depression increased the risk by 40% and anxiety increased it 30%. Auckland University lecturer Etu Ma'u says they also looked more generally at impacts of psychological distress.
And what we've shown there is that people that rate their distress as high or very high have almost double the risk of developing dementia compared to people who rate their distress as low.
A road safety advocate wants serious action over boy races. 5 bystanders and 2 police officers were injured at gatherings in Levin and Palmerston North on Friday night. 10 people face charges. They include an 18-year-old man due in court today accused of hitting 4 young people with his car. Advocate Greg Murphy says there's only one way to stop them.
Actually follow through with some decent numbers on crushing cars and one-strike system.
David Seymour is promising to represent ACT as Deputy Prime Minister as he replaces Winston Peters in a job share term. To sport, Max Verstappen has finally issued a veiled apology for crashing against George Russell at the Spanish Grand Prix. Australian cricketer Glenn Maxwell has called time on a 149-match one-day international career stretching back to 2012 so he can focus on next year's T20 World Cup. And expect marquee performances from England's footballers at a training camp in Spain. Manager Thomas Tuchel has pitched the idea of practicing in heated tents to replicate the conditions they could experience at next year's World Cup. I'm Malcolm Jordan. That's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at 5 p.m. from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.